What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Coffee with Dudes. I wanted to hop on real quick after a weekend trip. Just got back and we had an amazing time celebrating the wife's birthday. And so we had a great time out in Hood River. And I just wanted to come on here and share some insights. I got a standard Starbucks today. I want to share some insights on how we were able to have fun as a couple who stays fit and healthy and active, and how are we still able to enjoy our vacation, because I think it'll help a lot of you guys. So first and foremost, as I'm going to book a place, a hotel, etc., especially if it lands on a scheduled workout day, I'm going to make sure that I have access to equipment. At the very least, if I need to do some body weight and bands type stuff, great, I'll pack some bands with me, etc. In this case, any standard hotel with a set of dumbbells, as long as they have a set of dumbbells, you can pretty much do everything. It doesn't need to be like a super elaborate gym or anything like that. If we were staying at like an Airbnb and they didn't have equipment, I would probably just bring some resistance bands, or I would just already prep in my head, like, okay, if this is my normal scheduled workout, what can I do body weight version? There's always something to be done. One of kind of like my back pocket workouts, if body weight is your only thing that you have access to and you have no equipment, is 100 push-ups, 200 sit-ups, 300 squats, like 100, 200, 300. If you can do that, you can always have that in your back pocket. Maybe if you're, that kind of volume, and breaking that up in any sort of way that I want. 10, 10, 10, 5, 5, 5, 10, 5, 5. Like, how maybe you want to go all the way through the first set of push-ups first and then move on to the next. Like, it doesn't matter. There's no rhyme or reason to it. It's just allowing yourself to get something done while you're traveling outside of your normal routine, to stay in rhythm, to build that callus, to remain disciplined regardless of your environment, things like that. In this case, we stayed at a hotel. We had access to a pretty good dumbbell setup. Most of those hotels are going to be like up to 50-pound dumbbells, generally speaking. A lot of them will have more, but for the most part, you could probably find one that has up to 50 pounds. And, making sure that you, like for me, we work out first thing in the morning. So 6 a.m., sometimes before that, getting it out of the way so that we can enjoy the rest of our day. We had a lot planned, like on Friday, for example. I was still, I had to get some work done, but before we did anything else, we wanted to make sure that we got some movement in. So we got our scheduled workout. Were we able to do everything perfectly? No, because we didn't have access to our normal equipment, but we got it in. Same time, right? Different location, different environment, but we're ingraining that into our body and into our system that, hey, this is a habit regardless of where we're at. We've committed to this kind of lifestyle, living healthy and being fit. Life is more enjoyable when you do those things. And so on Friday morning, we just hit a hotel workout, right? Now, we also try to get 10,000 steps in a day in our regular routine, not when we're traveling. But it's funny, like when we go to travel, we go to do like fun outdoor activities, right? So we were hiking, we were paddle boarding. We did the things called the rail bikes, where you're riding these bikes on the railroad tracks, and amazing views and great experiences, and like super cool. So like we're finishing without even trying like 15, 16,000 step days. And those of you that have traveled know this too, as well, as like it's almost easier to hit your step goal when you're traveling, because chances are, you're not going to have access to a vehicle like how you do at home as frequently, right? Unless you're renting a car, great. But a lot of times when you go travel, you're doing stuff, you're active, you're moving, you're, hopping from one place to another. And before you know it, you can achieve your step goal. Or in this case, the reason why we do that is so that we have a consistent amount of energy expenditure. So, now the one thing that we kind of just keep the guardrails on is we brought protein snacks. What do I mean by that? We love Bear-Bells bars, right? So those have roughly around 200 calories. You're looking at 20 grams of protein. Chomps sticks was a great one, 90 to 100 calories for about 12 grams of protein. We like these Slate drinks. These Slate protein drinks are really good. Just little things like that just keep us from in between meals, that allow us to enjoy. And like, don't get me wrong, we enjoyed ourselves this past weekend. We had pizza. What else did we had burgers. We had all kinds of stuff, but that's outside of our regular routine. And leading up to those things, we try to prioritize protein as best as we possibly can. So we had access at our hotel to breakfast. And so for breakfast, we tried to prioritize. They had hard-boiled eggs there, which is great. I got some oats, so they just had plain oats, and you can mix in whatever you wanted to. So I put a little bit of honey and some oats. I think I mixed in some berries, right? And so it's just like kept it super simple so I could just at least get some good carbohydrate, get the protein through the eggs. We also bought two little small like Chobani Greek yogurts, which are another 20 grams of protein a pop. So you can see like the first meals that we're having in the day, we're trying to prioritize protein, some good sources of carbohydrate that'll give us some energy throughout the day, knowing that like A, we're going to get a lot of steps, but then B, we're going to leave some freedom for both lunch and dinner to just kind of eat whatever we want. Not until we're like fat and gluttonous and hating ourselves, but we're going to enjoy, we're not going to, there's no restrictions on the, as far as like, oh, let me make sure this has enough protein at dinner. And like, that stuff's kind of out the window when you're on vacation. And in this particular scenario where we're celebrating a birthday, right? So like we're going to have whatever we want. But how do we stack the percentages and the cards in our favor so that we don't completely derail? Well, we have control over breakfast. We're not going out to breakfast with friends and family and, eating something gluttonous. And so if that's the case, we can leverage to our advantage. Like, okay, let's start off on the right step today. We got our movement in, right? We got our workout. Let's prioritize some good carbohydrates, some quality, like I said, we did eggs, we did the Greek yogurts, like things like that, things that we can get some higher quality protein in early in the day, which is great. And then it allows you to know that you're going to expend so much energy. We're paddle boarding. We did a 4 or 5 mile hike. We did these rail bikes where you're pedaling, like pushing the bikes. They are electric, but you can pedal with your feet. And so they're active activities, right? And so we're staying busy. And we didn't like pack every single meal. We didn't pack like lunches. We didn't pack dinners. We didn't pack anything. We packed snacks. We packed protein snacks. Luckily, we had access to a Safeway, which is where we normally grocery shop, and that's where we were able to get a couple Greek yogurts. Like if we ran out of anything snack wise, we could go grab it. But as far as meals, we just ate out the whole time, right? And so that's and to like when people see us do that, they're like, how do you eat out like this and then stay fit and healthy and in shape and look good and feel good? And it's like, you guys are seeing the tip of the iceberg right now, where we're not tracking anything. We're ordering out at a restaurant, like how the majority of people do in our society. That this isn't a normal thing for us. This is like a less than 1% that we're doing. So I always want to preface with that people see the tip of the iceberg and think like, oh, Matt gets to eat out and eat whatever he wants, and then he gets to stay fit, healthy, and in shape. It's not the case. The other 99% that you don't see is that I tracked and logged my breakfast, and I prioritized protein, and I'm still getting over 10,000 steps a day, and I hit my workout first thing in the morning at 6 a.m. Like those things don't get seen, right? So I wanted to share those with you guys to say like, oh, okay, we're just seeing where he just ordered a burger and fries and put a bunch of ketchup on it and ate it. And like, how's he doing this, right? And so I think a lot of social media won't tell you out there is about those things, right? Like they'll say, hey, look, I can eat whatever I want and I can stay fit and healthy and in shape. And there's a lot that flies under the surface, under the radar, that you're probably not seeing, that they're probably not exposing to. So they're trying to sell you something, right? Like a lot of times on social media, they're trying to sell you this dream that you can eat whatever you want. You can be super ripped, fit, healthy, and in shape. There is a way to do that, but it's not what people think it is. And so people think it's just like, oh, I can just do the easiest thing and I can get super fit, healthy, and in shape. And again, I don't want to make this video about that. I just wanted to share my experience and what I chose to do on a weekend of vacation, and what my ideal way of keeping myself on the guardrails, and not going off track, and hopefully sharing those. And another thing is we were so exhausted by the end of the day, is we would get 7.5, 8 hours of sleep, which is great, at least. And so we wake up the next morning ready to go. I'd feel a little puffy, I'd feel a little bloated just from the food. I'm not used to eating that food. It is delicious and phenomenal, and I will never turn it down in those cases, in those scenarios. But I did wake up feeling a little bloated, like a little like, whew, okay. Which again, movement first thing in the morning, prioritize. We brought some electrolytes, so crushing those first thing once you wake up with about 30 plus ounces of water, like, will get your body to start feeling normal again, instead of just slugging through it and wondering why you feel like crap and those sort of things. So just wanted to paint a picture for you guys that it is possible, just by doing a little a little homework, a little due diligence on what you have access to from a gym standpoint. If you're traveling on a day that you would normally work out, if not, then you don't even worry about it, right? Um, I think 1 or 2 days were the only days that we trained. Like we don't, out of the entire weekend that we were there. So like, we didn't work out every day. Like this morning when we came back, it's Sunday. We didn't work out then. We take today as a recovery day. We'll still get our energy expenditure and hit our steps and run some errands today. But as far as working out, we weren't worried about it today. Today was just a travel day, get back into our rhythm, get ready for the week that's ahead, go grocery shopping, get our normal things on our grocery list, things like that, right? And just get ready to head into the week here. But I say all that just to share my experiences, share hopefully, and again, this doesn't mean you have to copy what I'm doing. I just wanted to let you know that there are some things that you can do to keep the guardrails on when you travel, that you don't have to completely go off the rails. Um, and then I think most importantly too, when you come back, I dropped a couple little nuggets there of what we're doing today is like, we're still prioritizing steps. We're working on hydrating, still got my coffee. And we're going to grocery shop, right? We're going to get our high quality protein sources, things like that. We're going to set ourselves up for success heading into this week so that we can pick up right where we left off and feel like we didn't completely jump ship, through the entire weekend. So hopefully this is helpful. If you feel like you could grab at least 1 or 2 nuggets from this, share with a friend, family member, somebody you feel like could benefit from it. We always love hearing from you guys. So if there's certain topics that you guys have questions on or you want us to dive into a little bit further, I think next pod, Alex and I should both be on there together. So I know he's doing some traveling and I was traveling this weekend, so we did some solo pods, but we love hearing from you guys. If you ever have any questions, reach out to us, and we're posting one pod every week, I believe on Wednesdays on Spotify and YouTube. We will catch you guys on the next one.